it's always a privilege and an honor for me to meet with members of the 9/11 community. Many of you have gone through tremendous trauma, both physically and psychologically, and we feel our obligation to make the Victims' Compensation Fund act as members of Congress, Congressman Mahoney, Adler, our senators, who are all responsible for making this happen. And now the obligation is on us to make it a really, really important part of their lives. So our goal today is to try to tell you a little more about the fund, where we are, what we're doing, and why it's taken so long. And I know many of you have been frustrated because you waited a long time, and you're tired of waiting. And we're tired of waiting too. But there is a statute that was passed by Congress that requires us to get certain information to be able to give you the awards that you deserve and that you should get. And remember, we have a closed fund here. We have just so much money. So every time we give money to someone that doesn't deserve it, because they weren't on the file, or they did reside there, or they were in prison, that takes money away from people that are present. So we're not trying to be sticklers about or tough on people. We're just trying to get basic information that we need that the statute requires us to have. So I hope this is going to be a very informative evening for you. And I'd like to introduce you first to a number of people in my staff who are here who make this happen. You know, it takes a village to make something happen. And we have a village. We now have our New York office that is open. And if you're going to appeal from any award you get or any determination on eligibility, you will have those appeals here in New York in our offices downtown, on Broadway, on Duane Street. I'd like to introduce you to the director of our New York office, Fran Godfrey, who many of you may see if you take appeals, and who has really been very effective in our outreach program, our clinics, and setting up this forum. Also, Jordy Feldman and Rick Brooks from the Special Master's Office, who have done yeoman's work in working with the fire department, the police department, various city agencies to get us directly in contact with those agencies so you don't have to get your records. You don't have to get your pension information if you're a fireman or a policeman or an emergency worker or someone who works for the city. We're getting that directly. Took a lot of time and effort to work out these arrangements to try to make it easier for the claimants by getting information directly from various agencies. And this is going to be important as we tell you how this process works. You'll understand better why we require certain information. For example, when we ask for you to sign a bunch of what we call attestations, and you have to sign your signature, and you have to give us a real copy of that, not a copy, but the real signature you have to mail to us. There's a reason for that. Not that we want it, but we can't get information from any